In the entire thousand-year history of the British monarchy, no one has held a dukedom longer than Prince Edward, Duke of Kent. At 89 years old, he's been Duke for an extraordinary 82 years, since he was just 6 years old. But here's what makes his story even more remarkable. He's now the last living person born during the reign of King George V, making him a walking bridge between the monarchy of nearly a century ago and today's modern royal family. As senior royals across the House of Windsor gracefully step back from decades of service, the Duke of Kent's unprecedented legacy offers a unique window into how royal duties, treasures, and traditions actually pass from one generation to the next. His story isn't just about one man's lifetime of service. It's about understanding how the world's most famous monarchy navigates the delicate balance between continuity and change. A Duke at 6, the making of a royal legend. August 25th, 1942. A 6-year-old boy playing in the gardens of his family's estate receives news that will define the rest of his life. His father, Prince George, Duke of Kent, has been killed in a plane crash while serving his country during World War II. In an instant, young Prince Edward becomes the Duke of Kent, inheriting not just a title, but a lifetime of responsibility he couldn't possibly comprehend. This wasn't the typical royal childhood of privilege and preparation. Edward's path to prominence was forged in tragedy and tempered by duty from his earliest years. Born at 3 Belgrave Square in London on October 9, 1935, he was the eldest son of Prince George, King George V's fourth son, and Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark. His lineage connected him to royalty across Europe. English through his father, Greek and Danish through his mother, and Russian through his grandmother, Grand Duchess Elena Vladimirovna. Did you know that becoming Duke at such a young age made Edward unique in British royal history? Most dukedoms are inherited by adults, but Edward's early succession meant he would grow up with his title, shaping his identity in ways few royals have experienced. At 16, he walked behind his uncle King George VI's coffin at the state funeral, one of his first major public duties. A year later, at Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, he was the third person to pay homage at her throne, following the Dukes of Edinburgh and Gloucester. The relationship forged between cousins Elizabeth and Edward during these formative years would become one of the monarchy's most enduring partnerships. While she prepared to be queen, he prepared to be her steadfast supporter, a role he would fulfill with unwavering dedication for 7 decades. His education reflected this early understanding of duty. After Ludgrove Preparatory School and Eton College, he attended La Rosey in Switzerland, then the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, where he won the Sir James Moncrief Grierson Prize for Foreign Languages. This wasn't just academic achievement, it was preparation for a lifetime representing Britain on the global stage. The keeper of royal traditions and secrets. What makes the Duke of Kent's service extraordinary isn't just its length, it's the depth of trust Queen Elizabeth II placed in him throughout her 70-year reign. As her first cousin and closest male family member of his generation, Edward became what palace insiders describe as her reliable ally, the royal she could depend on when others couldn't step forward. His military service laid the foundation for this trust. After graduating from Sandhurst in 1955 as a second lieutenant in the Royal Scots Greys, he served for over 20 years, including tours in Hong Kong, Cyprus with the UN peacekeeping force, and briefly in Northern Ireland. But here's a fascinating detail most people don't know. In 1971, Queen Elizabeth II personally intervened to prevent his potential kidnapping in Northern Ireland, alerting Prime Minister Edward Heath during their private weekly audience. This incident, revealed only in 2022, illustrates the protective relationship between the cousins. The Queen ensured her cousin wasn't sent to Belfast without special orders, and within weeks he was posted back to Britain. It wasn't just about family, it was about preserving someone she knew would be essential to the monarchy's future. When Edward retired from the military in 1976 to become a full-time working royal, he stepped into a role that would define the modern concept of royal duty. Over nearly 5 decades, he has been involved with over 140 charitable organizations, representing the crown at countless events where his presence carried the weight of royal approval. His most visible role for many was as president of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, presenting trophies to Wimbledon champions and runners-up for decades. But this was just the public face of his service. Behind the scenes, he served as the UK's special representative for international trade and investment until 2001, wielding soft diplomatic power to advance British interests globally. The Duke's relationship with Queen Elizabeth was built on shared values: duty, discretion, and an understanding of the burdens that come with royal privilege. Palace sources describe their connection as characterized by a dry sense of humor and deep mutual respect. She saw in him not just family, but a pillar of institutional stability who could be trusted with the monarchy's most sensitive responsibilities. How royal treasures really pass down. The truth about royal inheritance. To understand how the monarchy actually handles the transfer of power, titles, and treasures, the Duke of Kent's own succession story provides the perfect case study. When he inherited his dukedom at age 6, he also gained insight into one of the royal family's most carefully guarded secrets: how wealth, jewelry, and authority actually pass from one generation to the next. Unlike the dramatic narratives often portrayed in media, royal inheritance follows strict protocols developed over centuries. The crown jewels belong to the nation, held in trust by the monarch. The royal collection, containing approximately 400 pieces of jewelry, also belongs to the crown, available for use by royal family members, but owned by the institution, not individuals. But here's where it gets fascinating. Personal royal jewelry follows entirely different rules. When royal family members die, their personal collections can be bequeathed according to their wishes, just like any private citizen. This is how pieces move between family members, creating the complex web of jewelry ownership that confuses even royal watchers. The Duke of Kent's long tenure has made him a witness to countless such transfers. He's seen jewelry pass from Queen Mary to Queen Elizabeth II, watched as Princess Margaret's collection was distributed, and observed the careful protocols surrounding Princess Diana's personal pieces. His wife, Catherine, Duchess of Kent, has occasionally borrowed pieces from the royal collection for state occasions, a privilege that illustrates how the system actually works. Did you know that when royals wear spectacular jewelry at state events, they're usually borrowing from the royal collection rather than wearing personal pieces? The famous tiaras worn by Princess Catherine, for instance, belong to the crown, not to her personally. This system ensures that the most historically significant pieces remain available for future generations, while allowing current royals to fulfill their ceremonial roles with appropriate splendor. The real personal treasures of royal families are often smaller, more intimate pieces. Engagement rings passed down through generations, brooches with family significance, or jewelry purchased with personal funds. These pieces tell the true story of royal family relationships, carrying emotional weight that transcends their monetary value. The Duke's own jewelry collection, while modest compared to senior royals, includes pieces that reflect his military service and charitable patronages. His insignia, medals, and honorary decorations tell the story of his 82-year journey through the monarchy's evolution. These aren't crown jewels, but they're equally important historical artifacts documenting a life of unparalleled royal service. When the Duke eventually passes these items to his children, George, Earl of St. Andrews, Lady Helen Taylor, and Lord Nicholas Windsor, they'll join the broader tapestry of royal heritage that connects past, present, and future. This is how royal continuity actually works, not through dramatic deathbed revelations, but through careful, documented transfers that preserve both legal ownership and emotional significance. The Great Stepping Back, a generation's graceful exit. The Duke of Kent's recent stepping back from some royal duties represents more than one man's retirement. It's part of a broader generational transition, reshaping the monarchy. In April 2024, he made an emotional farewell as he stepped down as Colonel of the Scots Guards, a role he'd held for decades. The ceremony was poignant, marking the end of an era while symbolizing the graceful way senior royals handle the transfer of responsibilities. This transition wasn't sudden or dramatic. Since late 2023, palace sources have noted that the Duke was experiencing episodic mobility issues. the same diplomatic phrase used to describe Queen Elizabeth II's limitations in her final years. Rather than struggling to maintain duties beyond his physical capacity, the Duke chose strategic withdrawal, ensuring his remaining appearances carry maximum impact. His decision reflects a broader pattern among senior royals. At 89, he recognizes that effective royal service requires not just dedication, but the physical ability to fulfill obligations with dignity. This self-awareness has become a hallmark of the current royal generation's approach to aging gracefully within public roles. The Duke's stepping back also illustrates the monarchy's succession planning in action. When he relinquished his role as Colonel of the Scots Guards, Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, seamlessly assumed the position. This wasn't coincidental. It was part of careful planning that ensures continuity while respecting the limitations of advancing age. This transition model has become increasingly important as multiple senior royals face similar decisions. Princess Alexandra, the Duke's younger sister, who is 88, has also reduced her public appearances. The Duchess of Kent, at 92, has withdrawn almost entirely from public duties. These aren't failures of the system. They're examples of how the monarchy adapts to human realities while maintaining institutional stability. What makes these transitions remarkable is their dignity. Rather than clinging to roles beyond their capacity, senior royals are choosing strategic withdrawal that preserves their legacy while making space for younger family members to step forward. This approach demonstrates institutional maturity that many organizations could learn from. The Duke's continued selective appearances carry added weight because of their rarity. When he appeared at Trooping the Colour in June 2025, his presence on the Buckingham Palace balcony reminded viewers of the monarchy's deep continuity. Standing alongside King Charles III, whom he's watched grow from nephew to sovereign, the Duke embodied the institutional memory that gives the monarchy its unique character. These carefully chosen appearances serve multiple purposes. They honor the Duke's decades of service, provide visible continuity during times of change, and demonstrate the monarchy's ability to balance tradition with practical adaptation. Each time he appears publicly now, it's a reminder of the dedication that has characterized his 82-year tenure as Duke. Legacy, lessons, and the future of royal service. As the Duke of Kent approaches the final chapter of his unprecedented royal career, his legacy offers crucial insights into how the monarchy sustains itself across generations. His 82 years as Duke represent more than longevity. They demonstrate how institutional loyalty and personal adaptability can coexist within the same individual. Throughout his tenure, the Duke has witnessed and participated in the monarchy's most significant transitions. From George VI to Elizabeth II to Charles III, from empire to commonwealth, from analog to digital age. His ability to remain relevant and effective across these dramatic changes offers lessons for anyone interested in institutional leadership and personal resilience. His approach to royal duty, steady, reliable, without seeking spotlight, has become a template for effective royal service. Unlike more prominent royals who attract constant media attention, the Duke built his reputation through consistent performance rather than dramatic gestures. This model of service prioritizes substance over spectacle, institutional benefit over personal recognition. The Duke's relationship with charitable organizations illustrates another crucial aspect of his legacy. His involvement with over 140 different charities, organizations, and professional bodies wasn't ceremonial. It was active, engaged leadership that leveraged royal prestige for tangible benefit. From fostering British technology and industry to commemorating war dead, his patronages reflect a strategic approach to using royal influence for societal good. His role as Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England since 1967 exemplifies this approach. For nearly 6 decades, he's provided leadership to an organization with deep historical significance, while maintaining the political neutrality essential to royal service. This balancing act, engaged leadership without political controversy, demonstrates the sophisticated skills required for effective royal duty. The Duke's military background provided crucial foundation for his civilian royal service. His understanding of hierarchy, protocol, and service culture translated seamlessly into royal contexts. The discipline learned during 20 years of military service including overseas deployments and peacekeeping duties, prepared him for the different but equally demanding challenges of representing the crown in civilian contexts. Looking forward, the Duke's legacy raises important questions about the monarchy's future structure. His generation of royals, including Princess Alexandra and Prince Michael of Kent, provided crucial support during Queen Elizabeth II's long reign. As they step back, the monarchy must function with fewer working royals, placing greater pressure on younger family members. The Duke's model of service suggests potential solutions. His focus on specific areas of expertise, military affairs, technology, international trade, created genuine value rather than spreading royal attention too thinly. Future working royals might follow this pattern, developing deep expertise in particular fields, rather than attempting to cover all areas equally. His discretion and reliability also offer templates for modern royal behavior. In an era of constant media scrutiny and social media pressure, the Duke's approach, measured, thoughtful, focused on duty rather than personal brand, provides a roadmap for maintaining royal dignity while remaining publicly engaged. The Duke's family relationships offer another crucial legacy element. His marriage to Catherine Worsley in 1961 created a partnership that has endured for over 6 decades, providing stability that supported his royal duties. Their children, while not working royals, have maintained appropriate relationships with royal life while pursuing independent careers. This balance, royal connection without royal burden, may become increasingly important as the monarchy streamlines. His role as elder statesman within the royal family has become increasingly valuable. As someone who knew Queen Elizabeth II as both cousin and sovereign, who witnessed the monarchy's evolution across 8 decades, his perspective carries unique authority. Younger royals can learn from his experience while adapting his lessons to contemporary challenges. The Duke of Kent's 82-year tenure as Duke represents more than personal achievement. It embodies the monarchy's capacity for continuity, adaptation, and dignified service. His story bridges the gap between the royal family of the early 20th century and the institution taking shape for the 21st century. As senior royals across the House of Windsor navigate their own transitions, his example provides both inspiration and practical guidance. From a 6-year-old boy thrust into responsibility by wartime tragedy to an 89-year-old statesman gracefully managing his final years of service, the Duke's journey illuminates the human dimension of royal duty. His legacy isn't measured in dramatic gestures or media headlines, but in decades of steady, reliable service that strengthened the monarchy while advancing British interests globally. As we watch the great generational transition currently reshaping the royal family, the Duke of Kent's remarkable legacy reminds us that the monarchy's true strength lies not in ceremony or spectacle, but in the quiet dedication of individuals who understand that service to crown and country is both privilege and responsibility. His story, spanning nearly a century of British history, offers timeless lessons about duty, dignity, and the delicate art of graceful leadership in the public eye. This analysis is based on verified reporting from official royal sources, Wikipedia, Town & Country, Hello Magazine, and other credible outlets documenting the Duke of Kent's life and service from 1935 to 2025.